replacement for the remainder of the season. One day after being declined by Cora, the Phillies officially announced the firing of Thompson, who led Philadelphia to 4 straight playoff appearances, including the 2022 World Series, but did not survive a 9-19 start to this season. We're the best damn sports report for a reason. Listen daily at the top of the hour on 1077 The Bronx, online at 1077thebronx.com, and on our Apple, Google Play, and Alexa for free. The Best Damn Sports Report is underwritten by B2 Bistro and Bar on Route 130 in Bordentown. Enjoy happy hour every Monday through Friday and all day every Sunday. Live from Rider University, I'm CJ Jackson.
And it's out of here! And 1077 The Bronx wins again with the Best Damn Sports Report. To never miss a hit like that one, find it all at 1077thebronx.com/Best Damn Sports Report. And as the Bronx rounds home plate, we're getting back to the biggest hits and best variety on 1077 The Bronx.
1077 The Bronx /1077thebronx.com, winner of 3 2026 Intercollegiate Broadcasting Systems Media Awards for Best On-Air Pledge Drive for our first ever Radiothon, Best Giveaway for Wake Up Riders Morning Bagel Run and Jewelry Spree, and Best Station Poster by Jake Goebel for Scream Screen. This is Beyond the Score. I am your host. Where is it? There we go. All right. We should be good now. At least I hope. Let's see. Sorry. We're a little confused here. The cameras still an issue. I still battle with them all the time. But I don't know. Doesn't matter. We broadcast on the radio. One second. Josh, come in here real quick. Can you just, I don't know, this isn't.
What's up with the...
All right, bit of a slow start to the show, but that's okay. That's okay. Just get me on there. Let my mom see my pretty face. I'm streaming. I couldn't get the thing off of it.
What couldn't you get off it?
I don't know. I was very confused.
I mean, you look good. It's good right now.
All right, well, we're live.
Was it the interrupt?
I was clicking that and it wouldn't go away, but we're chilling.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're fine.
Josh, appreciate it. I know John Moses is looking at me like, dude, you should know this by now, but I don't.
Yeah, you're good.
All right, I appreciate it. That's Joshua YEAHHH, my pod mate, and he's in here to help me. He's been here a few times, but we're doing our draft show today, or my draft show. Yeah, I have to pull up my notes because it's been a crazy 2 minutes to start, but we're live now. Oh, you can see me. Hopefully you can hear me. Okay, let's get down to business. The draft was a pleasant surprise. Honestly, there was ups and downs, speaking from a Steelers fan perspective, but I think this was a great class. I mean, lots of talent up and down, talents late. There was a lot of talent late. There's a lot to talk about. But I just want to talk first, about some things that have happened, specifically around the Steelers, just because it's in the news. But they did something a little interesting the other day with Aaron Rodgers. They did something that is pretty rare to see. They placed a unrestricted free agent tender on Aaron Rodgers. So according to, I believe this is Ian Rappaport, he explains it as the UFA tender preserves the Steelers' right to receive a compensatory draft pick in the event Rodgers signs with another team. Now, do I see a situation where Rodgers signs with another team? No, I do not at all. I see a situation where he plays in Pittsburgh or he doesn't play at all. I do not like that he's got us running in circles. I don't like it at all. I mean, all right. Well, the Steelers drafted Drew Aller. That's fine. You still have Will Howard. You wanted him to develop Mason Rudolph, whatever. Get Mason Rudolph off my team, actually. I'm actually sick of him. But we are holding out for Aaron Rodgers. He's 42 years old. I don't know when his birthday is. Let's see if he gets any older. He's going to turn 43 before the playoffs next year, if the Steelers are even near that. I mean, actually, they've improved their offense significantly, so we could see that. But yeah, I mean, so now giving him this tender, you're basically, it's sort of like a safety net. If he were going to do something like kind of backstabbish, like lead the Steelers on and go somewhere else, it's a bit of a safety layer like that. But I don't know why Aaron Rodgers has such a tight grip on the Steelers coaching staff and the front office. He played well last year. Let's look at his numbers. Let's see. But he had a good season last year. Obviously didn't light up the stat sheet like he used to, but he won us a lot of great games and he played very, very well, very, very good football. Let's see. A little over 3,300 yards, 24 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. Now, that might seem like, okay, that might seem moderate. The Steelers over the years have had to watch Kenny Pickett. Let's go back to Kenny Pickett's 2022-2023 season. And I'll play a little trivia game with you. Do you think Kenny Pickett had more touchdowns in his first season with the Steelers than Aaron Rodgers had interceptions in his first season with the Steelers? Now, the fact that I'm asking you this ridiculous question is, come on, Cam, lock on to me. All right. The reason I am asking you this ridiculous question is because they're tied. Because Kenny Pickett threw seven touchdowns across 13 games in his first season with the Steelers, and Aaron Rodgers only threw 7 picks last year. 24 touchdowns. I mean, that's why, in my eyes, seeing Aaron Rodgers play the way he did, maybe to other teams, it's like, okay, could get more in the quarterback department, but this is the most the Steelers have gotten in years out of the quarterback position, and you're waiting for that moment in where, obviously, it's going to have to come through the draft. It's going to have to come through the pipeline. You're going to have to develop, and that's why you have Howard and Aller. I could see Aller he has more of the frame to be an NFL quarterback, but I want to see what Will Howard does first. I mean, you draft Aller in the 3rd, you get Howard in the 6th. One more year, Rodgers also wouldn't be too bad. I'm not opposed to it. I'm just not happy with how this is being handled. I mean, Rodgers didn't sign in Pittsburgh until early June last year, and that was right before minicamp and everything. It's been speculated, and now Omar Khan was even quoted saying that he doesn't believe that the 2026 offseason will be a repeat of 2025. And it is. It's the exact same. You have quarterback questions with Aaron Rodgers. Even, I get the age. I get the age is old, so you still want to go into the draft. But think about it. You don't know if your starting quarterback is even going to come back and play, and that changes your mindset in the draft, and that's why you draft Aller in the 3rd. It's just like a domino effect, and I'm sick of the games. I want answers. We all want answers because we've had horrible quarterback play for years, going all the way back to when we drafted Kenny Pickett in 2022. We had games with Mitchell Trubisky. Like, come on. But yeah, so the whole tender thing is fine. It basically is just like if Aaron Rodgers does something dumb, the Steelers can match that offer and pretty much have the rights to Rodgers. And also, another condition is now Rodgers can accept a 10% raise off last year's salary, which would pay him around $15 million this season. So, I mean, it's not a aggressive move in any terms. Obviously, you have to see where it goes. But I don't know. We will probably see a situation where Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback for the Steelers next year, and that's totally fine with me. What are we going to do after it? Because this should be his last stop. This should be his final season, no matter what. I don't think this. When you talk about bridge quarterbacks, 2 is probably the maximum. 2 years is probably the max. And I get what you go and you look at what happened in Green Bay with Jordan Love. They draft him very, very highly. Even when Rodgers was not at his prime, but definitely still playing very, very efficient football, was still winning MVPs at that time. And you see what happens now. Jordan Love is a solid, I'm not going to say great, but a solid NFL quarterback. So we'll see. I'm excited to have Aller and Howard compete, because eventually one of them will be the starter. And I like having two young guys. The Steelers haven't had a young quarterback in a while that I was excited about, because obviously Kenny Pickett, I was excited about him. But I mean, going into the draft, just all of the negativity are just surrounding those quarterbacks. Obviously, you saw Will Levis drop, Malik Willis drop. Matt Corral is not even in the NFL anymore. Kenny Pickett is the only one that has gotten other opportunities elsewhere. Won a Super Bowl. But yeah. Anyway, we're gonna get into our draft analysis, because this was a great draft. We did the mock draft last week. Now we have all of the picks. I'm just gonna do the first round. Obviously, if there's other things to talk about, I will. Like Diego Pavia didn't get drafted, but the guy from Africa did, Uwar Bernard. I mean, dude, of course he's an Eagle. Of course. That's that is literally sums up how I feel about the Eagles. Of course. But we'll start with pick number 1, an obvious one. It was obviously Fernando Mendoza, quarterback out of Indiana. It was obvious from the start, even before he won that national championship. I mean, actually, around mid-season is where things turned, and then before he won the national championship, he was obviously very highly regarded. And Raiders need a quarterback. You go out and get the best quarterback on the board, and it's a pretty simple option, a pretty simple pick. The only thing is now, with the signing of Kirk Cousins, will we see Fernando Mendoza on week 1? Because they paid Kirk Cousins a lot of money. Let's break down the details real quick, because I know it was $180 million. But I think some money is deferred, and he's guaranteed $20 million this season, club option for additional 2 years at $80 million. So basically, I believe those club options are in. Let's see. I don't know when those club option years are, but we probably will not see Kirk Cousins much in Vegas. We will probably see him a little bit. It'll probably be like a little Jacoby Brissett, Drake May kind of situation, where you draft May highly, doesn't get to start week 1, and he's pretty much in there by week 3 or 4. But we'll see. I mean, there's plenty of time. Kirk Cousins is aging quarterback. Fernando Mendoza, very young, has a lot to prove being drafted that highly. We'll see how things shake out. But a great pick there. I mean, there was no other option. Now, moving on, I talked about this in our mock draft. I could have saw the Jets go really either way with this one, and it kind of all led back to edge rusher or some sort of off-ball linebacker, something like around somebody athletic on the defensive side. And they go David Bailey from Texas Tech. And I could see why they do it. I mean, 36 touchdowns allowed last year, 0 picks. You need to get to the quarterback, because a lot of people that don't really know the sport, a lot of people that have surface level knowledge on the sport may look at that and see 0 interceptions and think, oh, their secondary is horrible. Their safeties, their corners they're horrible. But that's not the case. It is equally on the pass rush to force quick throws, to force bad throws. When you let a quarterback sit back there and go through his read and maybe even have enough time to go through another read, dude, just 2. I mean, you're not getting to the quarterback, and when you do, they're escaping the pocket. So you go out and you get David Bailey, and this is just one aggressive guy off the edge. Led the FBS in sacks, 14.5, and quarterback pressure at 20%. He is just a quick outside guy, and he can get real low, and obviously sack threat. He could be a guy we are seeing get double teamed as he progresses. That's what I mentioned earlier it could have gone two ways. The other option, Arvell Reese, could have saw him as well. I don't know. We'll see how it shakes out. I do like Bailey as an athlete. Do those sack numbers translate to the NFL? Do those pressure numbers translate to the NFL with NFL level talent as his opponent? You can say that about any guy coming over from college to the NFL, but being drafted so highly, you have to be confident in that decision. Who is going to not be more successful, but who is going to have an easier time adjusting? Because it's an adjustment. It's a different league, man. Go and listen to Derrick Henry. I believe Derrick Henry talked about this. It's a different league, and he played at Bama. He played in the SEC. But yes, I like the pick. Actually, I mean, I didn't have grades, but I do have internal grades here, and I'll give Mendoza an A. I'll give this pick an A minus. I think you couldn't have gone wrong, but still, if you're confident in your pick with Bailey, I like it. It was just Reese or Bailey, but now you throw him back there with Will McDonald, two really good edge defenders. We'll see how the Jets do. And they had a pretty solid draft. Omar Cooper Jr., I believe, as well. So, yeah. I want to just look at their class real quick, so we can put it in perspective. So you draft David Bailey at 2, Kenyon Sadiq at 16, Omar Cooper Jr. at pick 30. Like, this was a phenomenal first round from the Jets, and they've made tremendous strides. We'll see. I saw a report today that said that the Jets are considering Russell Wilson as their quarterback 2 behind Geno Smith, but it was actually Geno Smith's idea. Geno Smith suggested to bring in Russell Wilson. And no contract yet, but there's some buzz. But yes, moving on now to pick Trace, numero Trace. And this was pretty shocking, but I'll give you some context before I explain the story. Last year, actually, it started when I was in high school. When I was taking journalism in high school, I wrote an article of just my first round mock draft. And I had so much fun writing an article for the school website about a mock draft that when I came to Ryder, my group of friends, I said, let's do something similar, but let's make it a competition. Let's everybody submit their own mock drafts, and whoever has the most accurate mock draft will win. And this year we did them. Let me pull that up because I want to see that. But where I was going with that is, out of all of the drafts that I saw submitted, hold on. Out of all the drafts that I saw submitted, only two of them. And there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So out of 9 drafts submitted, only 2 of them had Jeremiah Love going pick 3 to the Cardinals. Shout out my boy Tommy Devlin. He also predicted that as well. But yeah, that was a bit surprising that the Cardinals go the running back out of Notre Dame, and the Cardinals looking to add more offensive skill. You lose Kyler Murray. He is now over in Minnesota. You have Marvin Harrison Jr. You have Trey McBride on the offense. Even Michael Wilson, a solid piece on the offensive side of the ball. James Conner has dealt with plenty of injuries throughout his time there. And I think the Cardinals saw Love on the board at 3, decided against a guy like Arvell Reese, decided against a guy like Sonny Styles as well, somebody that was going to be drafted that highly. That pretty much everybody else mocked up Arvell Reese going 3, and I think that's pretty much what we expected. But honestly, I'm a sucker for the flashy pick. Maybe pick 3 is way too high. It is too high, actually. Pick 3 is too high, but I love the flashy pick. RB1 immediately has shown, let's see his numbers over in... Will it show me college stats now that he's in the NFL? Yeah, there we go. 2025, 199 carries, 1,300 yards, 18 touchdowns. That's just on the ground. You score 3 touchdowns through the air and nearly 300 yards through the air as well. Just a versatile back is going to be a workhorse for this Cardinals team, and that will open up the passing game as well. You need a nice balance between pass and run game, and adding Love to the offense is great. I mean, the defense was pretty solid last year, and that's why I could see them kind of shifting gears over offensively. You have Josh Sweat back there. You got him in last offseason. I think obviously the Cardinals saw Love there and was like, this is too good of a talent to leave there. And then obviously that you have to pull the trigger. I'll give this a C+ though. Just in terms of its pick 3, running backs values, granted, have trended up a little bit more now. But in previous years, the running back position value has gone down. And that's solely because one injury can end a season. And that's for any guy. But their whole job is to get beat around. You know, they easily take the most contact when, I'll say, they take the most contact when in full stride. They are taking the hardest contact because they're always moving 100 miles an hour. And that's why you see the valuation of running back contracts go down. That's why they're not getting paid. I mean, Kenneth Walker did just get paid $41 million by the Chiefs, and I think that's a complete overpay. He's very similar to the Saquon Barkley pick, a very, very talented running back, and somebody with a high pick goes up and gets him. But I give it a C+. Also, I forgot I just didn't give a grade for, actually, did I give a grade for Bailey? A-. I believe I already said A-, but we'll move on. We're going to do this last pick. It's pick number 4 before we go into our second segment. We made a lot of progress today. I told myself that I was going to make sure that I managed my time well today. So let's see if I did a good job. But we have about a minute here to talk about pick 4. And this is another one that was shocking to me. Carnell Tate, wide receiver out of Ohio State. Again, very similar situation to the Cardinals. You have a young offense. You have not. I mean, obviously the Cardinals don't have extremely young quarterback. I mean, Carson Beck, but Cam Ward's back there. This is where I could have saw Jeremiah Love go to Tennessee, but I also could have saw Sonny Styles here. It was shocking to me, and that's why I'm going to have to give this a C+. I think if you wanted Carnell Tate so bad, you could have cashed in on some value. Like pick 4 could have drawn a lot of interest, and I could see some sort of trade with, I mean, you saw the Chiefs kind of move up. I mean, it's tough to really know what's going to happen because how Tate produces is going to be at the hands of Cam Ward. And I mean, the offense last year, not great. Let's see. Cam Ward, 15 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Pretty decent end of the season. Kind of pulled it together. The beginning was very, very, very bad. He didn't have a 200-yard passing game until week 3, and he barely got there. So you're adding another weapon. You're just trying to spread the field out for Ward. You want him to develop. That's what they had in mind. Drafting Carnell Tate to form that connection between him and Ward. And you want to give Ward every opportunity he can to improve and evolve as an NFL quarterback. He's shown some flashes, but think about it. Alec Iomanner, Tamir Dike, all those other guys out there, not really true NFL, like, I'm not going to say talents because they're in the NFL, and I'm not trying to knock these guys down, but they're not too intimidating. But with that, I already said C+. We'll see what happens with Carnell Tate. I'm excited to see him in Tennessee, but we're going to go into some underwriting announcements. 1077 The Bronx has very exciting news. Our new video stream is officially live. You can now listen to The Bronx on air, online, and on app now to watch your favorite student shows live on The Bronx YouTube channel and Facebook at 1077 The Bronx, including What's Next Sports, Talk of the Town Sports, Bronx After Hours, The Concast, Cliff Notes, and Wake Up Rider. Keep it tuned to The Bronx and listen and watch your favorite student shows. We'll be back with more Beyond the Score on your five-time National Association of Broadcasters Marconi Radio Award nominated station 1077 The Bronx.
Okay, it looks like we've landed on what the Earthlings call a college campus.
The mothership gave us voice changers. Turn yours on.
Excellent. Now we blend in with the humans.
Days. Our social media is popping. Be a part of the trend. Follow 1077 The Bronx to see what we're up to on air and behind the scenes on Instagram at 1077 The Bronx and on TikTok at 1077 The Bronx WRRC. After you follow The Bronx on social media, sport The Bronx on and off campus. Gear up for summer by shopping the Bronx General Store. From short sleeve tees and polos to insulated drinkware for your acai refresher. Go to 1077thebronx.com/shop The Bronx to make your campus fashion statement. Welcome back to Beyond the Score. See, these are all messed up. Welcome back to Beyond the Score on your 5-time National Association of Broadcasters Marconi Radio Award nominated station 1077 The Bronx. If you're just joining us or if you're brand new, my name is CJ Jackson and I talk sports on the radio. So we're in our second segment here on the show, doing our draft analysis, giving grades out, just talking about each pick. We went through 4 picks in the first segment. We had some news to talk about previously. And we're just going to pick up where we left off. Now we're at pick 5, and this is the New York Giants. They draft Arvell Reese from Ohio State. And, I mean, one of the best prospects in this draft. I don't think the Giants really expected him to be available at pick 5. And, I mean, he projects primarily as an edge rusher, but has also played inside at Ohio State, so it gives him a little more versatility, can move all around the field, and he is... I mean, I mentioned David Bailey as being an athlete. I mean, Arvell Reese is just as athletic as him. 4'4", 40 at 240 pounds. I mean, this guy is just a monster. And even Joe Shane said it at the Combine. You can't have enough pass rushers. And I think after the loss of Dexter Lawrence, you go out and you get another draft pick. Defense, getting to the quarterback was in the mind of the Giants, and they made a smash pick here. And it was obvious. I think... Talking to a lot of Giants fans that I know kind of the thought was, hey, maybe we can get Styles or Downs at 5 and Jordan Tyson at 10, or you could have even went Styles at 5 and Downs at 10. And that was a possibility even after everything ended, because both guys were there after their draft picks, with Styles going 7 to Washington and Downs going 11 to Dallas. So I just think the Giants didn't really expect this, and they have to be happy with it. I mean, it's not like an unexpected, change of events like the Steelers, which we'll get to, but I think this just fits. I'm going to give this an A. You draft the best guy on the board. That's simple logic. I mean, great pick. Zaxby's, man, the smoothie. Kansas City Chiefs, pick number 6. We're moving on. I already gave Arvell Reese an A. Cornerback out of LSU. And now after the Chiefs trade Trent McDuffie for a first-round pick, they go right back into the secondary, and they draft Mansour Delane at pick 6. Like I said, you trade McDuffie to the Rams. The Chiefs get their brand new starter in Delane immediately. And he has a lot of star potential. I mean, he has very, very good traits in his zone coverage ability. Recorded 2 interceptions and 13 pass breakups at LSU in his last season, in 11 games, by the way. And he is a corner where he is not afraid to be physical. I mean, a lot of these guys nowadays, I'll just take a shot at my own team. Joey Porter, he could be a little more aggressive. Obviously, lengthy guy, great in coverage, great corner. But this guy, Mansour Delane, man, he is very physical, and he's not afraid to be physical. So the Chiefs just looking to replace the lost production of McDuffie. Let's see how Delane turns out. Now, the biggest question is, did the Chiefs really need to make this trade with McDuffie? No, not with McDuffie. The trade to move up. Did they have to do it? I don't know. You trade 3 draft picks and you get a cornerback. So you lose a corner in the offseason, you get a cornerback, and then, no pun intended, you get a corner back in the draft, but at the cost of 3 draft picks. I don't know. It's a little, you trade the 9, the 74, and the 148. It will be successful if Delane is good. That's for every trade. I mean, honestly, but as of right now, I don't like the trade. You think about it as in what you gained and what you lost. You gain a first round pick from the Rams, that you trade a corner, then you draft a corner. So basically that evens out, but then you give up. Technically, it's only 2 draft picks lost because you're getting a first back for Delane. I still don't like it, but I like the pick. I'm not knocking the pick. I'm not knocking the player. I don't like the trade. But I think the Chiefs did do a good job here. I'm going to give this a B+ with the potential to be a A-. But the only thing that's really knocking it down is the price. The price that the Chiefs have to pay. But moving on. Number 7, Washington Commanders, Sonny Styles, linebacker out of Ohio State. Another Ohio State player drafted in this first round. I believe they at this point, through 7 picks, he'd be number 3 behind Arvell Reese and Carnell Tate. So a lot of talent coming out of Ohio State this year. And Sonny Styles, I think this is probably top 3 best picks in the first round. Or not the first round, the top 10. I mean, this is another situation to Arvell Reese. I could have seen Sonny Styles go way higher. You could have seen Sonny Styles go 4 to Tennessee, and Washington able to get him at 7. Just tremendous length, speed, versatility at linebacker. Like I mentioned earlier with Arvell Reese, gives them a lot of versatility. These Ohio State guys on the defensive side of the ball, very athletic, ran the same 40-yard dash as Arvell Reese, and now you pair him up with Leo Chenal, who, I mean, his 40 times even quicker, and then obviously Frankie Louvu back there as well. The Commanders are just trying to salvage what was a just disappointing season last year after Jaden Daniels brings them to the pennant game, the NFC Championship. You get beat around by the Eagles, and that's fine. You're a young team, you're a young quarterback, but the defense was the difference between the offense and the defense was staggering. Even going back to that season, you allow 55 points in the NFC Championship game. You have to address something. And after last year with the whole Jaden Daniels not staying healthy, the whole arm thing as well, that thing was nasty. But you go out and you just get a guy that could be a leader of your defense within 1 or 2 seasons. You could 100% see Sonny Styles and the leadership that he's carrying over from Ohio State. You could see we're seeing probably a star in the making. I want to give this pick an A+. I love Sonny Styles just as a prospect, and I think the Commanders obviously did the right thing in going with talent. There could have been other ways there are other positions to look at. I mean, Tyson goes 1 pick later. The Commanders could have used a wide receiver, but they opt to strengthen the defense early instead of feed more into an offense that, I mean, hey, that offense got you to the NFC Championship game, but what happened? I vividly remember 55 points at the end of the game, and Will Shipley is running all over your team. Later in the game, obviously, when it was too late. But I like this pick, A+. Moving on to number 8, and I'm not doing a great job with time management at all. Lord almighty. We're gonna try to keep this moving. Pick number 8, New Orleans Saints. They draft Jordan Tyson, wide receiver out of Arizona State. Go out and get your quarterback, Tyler Shaw, who has shown last year, towards the end of last year, because he didn't play much in the beginning. He debuted in December. He debuted in October. And let's see. He didn't really, I'd say that Carolina game in the 9th of November where they won 17-7, that was the turning point for his season. 282 yards, 2 touchdowns that game. And then from then on, I mean, the yard totals, all of them over 200 except 1 game. And in that game, you win. Only 2 games for the rest of the season without a touchdown pass. So he's shown some signs of life. He's shown some signs of talent. And the Saints do the right thing and add to that offense. You pair him alongside Chris Olave, who managed to stay healthy last year. He managed to stay healthy. Jordan Tyson, a guy who can find the end zone, 18 touchdown receptions in the past 2 seasons. He's obviously an immediate starter alongside Olave. The Saints made the right pick here. I'm going to give it an A. Moving on. Once I sign in to something. Moving on. Pick number 9. First offensive tackle off of the board. The Cleveland Browns go Oh, why is this so close to me? I didn't even see that. Get away from me. Thank you. Okay. Sorry that you guys were too close to me. But yes, the Cleveland Browns, they go Spencer Fano, offensive tackle out of Utah. I like this pick. I like drafting offensive line. Actually, my statements are going to be contradictory once I talk about the Steelers pick, but that's a little different. That is a little different. When Spencer Fano and then obviously the next pick, Francis Mauigoa, you go out and you have to I'm all about flashy. I like drafting offensive tackles. I'll give you an example. Like Broderick Jones a few years ago, I wasn't happy about it. It's like, oh, okay. But these guys are just as important as any other player in the first round. And the Browns, they go out. You want to keep Quinshon Judkins healthy after a gruesome leg injury. I get that happened in open field, but that has nothing to do with coming back and keeping his health. You want to protect the young guys who at quarterback, whoever is going to play, if that is Sanders or Gabriel, and then the whole thing with Deshaun Watson. We'll see who is who's going to make it out of there, basically. But the Browns just had a big void to fill at left tackle. They gave up the league worst 16% pressure rate, 36 quick pressures last season. That's all according to NFL Next Gen Stats. And then DeJuan Jones a few years ago. Hello, Ryan. I didn't even hear you come in here. I was just talking about the Jets not too long ago.
What were you saying?
I said they had a phenomenal first round.
They did. I like David Bailey.
Yeah, let's hear your thoughts. I gave them an A for that. I gave them an A- only because.
I don't know how to feel about Sadiq.
You don't?
I don't know how to feel about Sadiq.
Really?
I like Sadiq. I hear he's a freak. Like, he can play receiver and tight end. Like,
yeah,
he's a pretty hybrid guy.
He reminds me a lot about Isaiah Likely.
Okay.
Who is now over in the other side of New York. Actually, not the other side. They play in the same stadium. Yes. In New Jersey.
Where the World Cup is. And it's going to be horrid.
What, you're not ready?
No, I think it's going to be horrid because...
What, over a population?
It's in a bad location, and they're also like NJ Transit's only running like a certain number of trains. It's going to be a nightmare.
And I'll leave it to Ryan to hop on here and talk about the trains. But, yeah, we're just going through the first... Yeah. How was your exam?
It was fine. I think I did good.
Because I have to take it tomorrow as well.
Yeah?
It was bad.
Nah, I mean, as long as you, like... I'm not going to talk about that on here.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I liked the move of trading up to get Omar Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was good.
Yeah, I think the Jets did a great job. I was talking about how they really needed to be confident in deciding between Bailey and Reese.
Yeah.
You wanted somebody back there who was very athletic. You wanted either an edge rusher or some sort of off-ball linebacker. You just needed to be confident in which one was going to adjust from college football to the NFL first. And if they believe Bailey, I mean, he led the FBS in sacks last year at 14.5.
Yeah.
So that's something to be happy about.
Yeah. I like their draft.
I mean, when you walk out of a draft with 3 first-round picks.
I know.
Again,
I'm glad I got to talk about it.
In a scam.
Yeah, I'm glad I got to talk about it with you because I should have talked about it more on my show yesterday, but I was very focused on the Knicks, obviously.
No, and big Knicks season. The Mets.
The Mets won a game yesterday.
Yeah.
They won 8-0. Bo Bichette actually hit a home run. That was nice.
Man, I'd love to see that as well. Yeah, but we can continue here. Do you have anywhere to be? Do you want to join?
I can stay until you go to commercial.
All right, yeah, we have a few minutes.
Commercial. We got a couple
but
minutes.
Was talking about Spencer Fano 9 to the Browns. Yeah, actually, I'll tell you, I told myself this is the past few weeks I have been horrible in time management with this show, where there is too much left for me to talk about.
Yeah.
With very little time left.
Not in the same way.
And I'm in the exact same boat again. We're only on pick number 9.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I talk and talk and talk.
You get on a tangent. I get it. Trust me, I get it. I do the same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But Spencer Fano, I'll give it an A. Obviously, highest offensive tackle on the board up there with Francis Magua, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But like I said, the Browns, league worst in pressure rate, 36 quick pressures allowed last season. You go out and
they had to take a tackle.
They had to.
Yeah.
And the young guys, Sanders, Gabriel, whoever's going to start, Judkins as well, who went down with a gruesome leg injury.
That was bad. I remember that. Yeah.
You want to keep those guys healthy because you're trying to change the course of your franchise. It's been a pretty bad 20 years, even though the Browns made the playoffs a few years ago.
Right.
It's been a pretty bad existence for the Browns. Moving on, pick
Leave
number.
it to a Steeler fan to say that.
Of course. You know what? I spread as much Steelers-driven opinion on this show that it is pretty much drilled into my script at this point. Pick number 10, Francis Magua.
I like it. A lot of people wanted Downs, but like protect Dart, protect Scadaboo. It's not crazy.
Right. Adam Schefter just tweeted, NFL rushing leader and 3-time Pro Bowl selection James Cook has just graduated from the University of Georgia. Huh. Wow. Congratulations to James Cook.
I was scared. I thought you were going to say like a trade or something like that.
June 1st.
Yeah.
June 1st, we'll be seeing all the trades. A.J. Brown will be on the move. But
A.J. Brown is going to go, so I don't know where he's going to go. But yeah, he's not staying in Philadelphia.
Well, he'll most likely, New England seems likely. We'll see.
I don't want to deal with him in that division.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with him in that division.
Yeah. But, hey, if David Bailey can get to Drake May, he won't be catching any passes.
But they have Geno Smith starting a quarterback, so they're not going to be great this year. I mean, I don't expect them to be that good.
I think a bigger thing for the Jets is just trying to intercept the pass.
Yeah.
And that played into the pick as well. You might think that 0 interceptions means bad secondary. If you're not getting to the quarterback, you're not gonna force bad throws. So
the interception thing was awful. I remember when McElroy won the Masters, I had a bunch of people send me that Instagram post where it was like McElroy won back-to-back Masters before the Jets got a single interception. And I was like,
that's hilarious.
I know. I was like, oh my God.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
But the Giants take an offensive tackle here. I like it. I know Branden likes it as well.
Yeah.
Lewis likes it. But I think there could have been a different route that you took. Caleb Downs was there, went the next pick, and in your division.
Well, that's because Dallas traded.
I know. Yeah, Dallas traded up. I'm not saying that the Giants let that happen, but I'm saying that Downs was there, and ultimately what happened was Dallas trades up, and now you have to deal with Downs every now and then.
Who did the Giants take at 16?
Well, the Jets were 16.
The Jets had 16. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the Jets were Sadiq.
The Jets were Sadiq at 16. The Giants had the 5 and the 10. That's right.
Yes.
And then the Jets had okay.
So I like the pick. Okay. I'm gonna give it an A. I mean, it's not a flashy pick, but you need to fill holes. Obviously, offensive line for the Giants has been a struggle over the years. Andrew Thomas, he's gonna come back healthy. Jermaine Illuminor had a great season last year. Evan Neal, $0 guaranteed contract. The biggest question for him is he's just a little hurt. Maligua, a little herniated disc in the back. Probably will need surgery at some point.
I heard about that. Yeah.
But I mean, it's still early. Hopefully, they sort that out sooner than later and have him healthy for the beginning of the season. But as I mentioned earlier, literally a few seconds ago before I send it to commercial, pick number 11, Caleb Downs, the Cowboys trade up. And I like this pick a lot. He is a versatile guy back there, can fill both spots at safety. Most likely will transition to more of a nickel defender at some point. But this was a huge importance for the new coordinator over in Dallas. That would be Christian Parker. You needed to help the secondary, and a lot of injuries back there. Trayvon Diggs is no longer there. I believe he was cut last year. Deron Bland, after the one season with all the interceptions, has dealt with.
He had a bunch of pick sixes that season, too.
Right, and now he is struggling to stay on the field, too. So secondary help was a need for the Cowboys.
No, definitely.
And Downs is very versatile as he can play safety and also can kind of transition into that nickel spot.
Yeah.
So we have reached our second underwriting announcement break. We're going to head into that. Let me get my ads ready. 1077 The Bronx first ever Build the Ultimate Bronkwich contest was a campus smash. Hundreds of riders, students, faculty, and staff stopped by Muller's Pub and Cranberries to try Jesse Doty's Hot Honey Chicken Pesto Grilled Cheese, Sergio Nino Vella's Lomito, and Caitlin Lawler's Chopped Unk. In fact, Rider Universities chowed down on 600 sandwiches in an hour and 20 minutes and casted over 700 votes to determine who built the ultimate Bronkwich. Listen to Wake Up Rider this Thursday, April 30th at 9 a.m. to find out who won their sandwich on the menu at Muller's Pub and the Yo Cuz Yellow Food Trailer, plus that amazing Royal Caribbean cruise to the Bahamas from Josh Harry Travel. We'll be back with more Beyond the Score after these underwriting announcements on your 3-time 2026 Intercollegiate Broadcasting Systems Media Awards, 1077 The Bronx. Holy mouthful.
I may be getting older, but I still like to have my
The Bronx, 2-time IBS Media Award winning best morning show for that is Wake Up Rider. Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Join Sophia, RJ, Ellis, Brian, Laytin, Branden, and Shir for 2 hours of fun and games, including the Monday Morning Hangover, underwritten by McGuinn's Place, and the all-new Morning Bagel Run and Jewelry Spree, underwritten by Caesar's Bagels and Deli, and Peroni's Hidden Treasures in Mercerville. Go to 1077thebronx.com/wakeuprider to listen live on air, online, and on app to catch up on past episodes. Welcome back to Beyond the Score on the Princeton Review's 18th ranked best college radio station, 1077 The Bronx. So we have 8 minutes to talk about like 20 picks. Man, maybe I should, you know what? Maybe I should put in for a 2-hour show next year because I have a lot of wisdom and a lot of things to talk about. and I just can't get it all. I can't get it all in 1 hour. And I know you guys love to hear me talk, and so maybe I should. But for the time being, that is later. This is now. We're on pick number 12, Caden Proctor, offensive tackle out of Alabama. Don't like it. Miami, I don't really like the draft pick. I think there were bigger holes that Miami needed to fill. Granted, Proctor, pretty good. Obviously, top of his class, like one of the top of his class, top 5, if not top 3. 6'7", 253 pounds. It gives Miami another really, really big tackle. They want to run the ball with A-Chain. They bring in Malik Willis, the wide receiver position. They went out and they got a receiver in the draft. But I don't really like it. Where will he play is the question, because at Alabama, he played left tackle. It seems unlikely for him to go in there and just take Patrick Paul's job as a rookie. I mean, Austin Jackson has struggled to stay healthy over the past few seasons, so maybe he can slide in there right guard, but that's probably Proctor's clearest path for playing time. It's going to take some time for him to develop. I'm going to give this pick a C. I just think pick 12 for a guy like Proctor, too high. I think I mocked him up going 17 to the Lions. I mean, maybe a five pick difference, but I think the Dolphins were not in a position to draft a guy like Proctor, especially at 12. Moving on, pick number 13. I believe this is probably the surprise of the draft. Ty Simpson gets drafted, quarterback out of Alabama. He goes to the Los Angeles Rams, and if you saw Coach McVay and the press conference after the draft, he did not want Ty Simpson, and this seems like a decision from the front office. Matthew Stafford has been working on an extension with them, but he's getting older, has had some few injuries, but the injuries haven't been too significant to really keep him off the field. Just nagging stuff. But you have to assume if something is nagging for so long that it could catch up to him at some point, and we could be seeing maybe an absence depending on if Stafford can stay healthy. But Simpson's obviously brought in, immediately going to be competing with Stetson Bennett for the quarterback 2 position. You want a clean transition between quarterbacks, and I think they saw an opportunity with Simpson here and say, hey, if we do this year to secure Simpson and let Stafford do whatever he wants to do moving forward, the transition between Stafford to Simpson should be clean. It should be a clean transition between Stafford hands the keys over to Simpson. He knows the playbook. He knows the offense. He knows the personnel and everything. And it's a smooth transition. There's no kind of adjustment period. I could see that. But pick 13, I mean, the Rams, pretty much almost all of them, not all, pretty much most of the expert opinion had Mekhi Lemon in this area, pairing him alongside Puka Nacua and then Devontae Adams, and just giving them more of an offensive threat for probably one of the last few seasons of Matthew Stafford. I don't like it. It might be a great draft pick in terms of what is to follow, but from what we know now, pick 13, quarterback to a team that didn't need a quarterback, I'm going to give it a C. Moving on. I'm going to give grades to every single team except one, and then that's the team I'm going to talk about. Baltimore Ravens, they take Ione, whatever. Penn State, great pick. I hate to say it for the Ravens, but great pick. Give it that an A. Reuben Bain Jr., 15 to the Buccaneers. Hey, this guy is one scary dude. ACC Defensive Player of the Year, 9.5 sacks, 15.5 tackles for loss last year, an interception and a forced fumble. So lit up the stat sheet on the opposite side of the ball. And again, another one of these very athletic edge rushers. We mentioned that you can kind of group together Bailey and Arvell Reese in kind of the same conversation as Bain, and the Buccaneers, they go out and they get him. The only thing is, though, there has been some off-the-field issues with Reuben Bain, but in terms of just draft player analysis, great pick. I'm going to give it an A. 16, Kenyon Sadiq to the Jets. I'm going to give this a B+. I kind of mentioned it with Ryan earlier. Very versatile guy. 4.3 40, 4.39 40, so 4.4 40. At 6'3", 240 pounds, I mean, he's going to be one of the primary pass catchers in this offense alongside Omar Cooper Jr. and Garrett Wilson. I like it. I like it a lot. Blake Miller, offensive tackle out of Clemson, goes 17 to the Lions. I'm going to give this pick a B. Not much to say there, but he was primarily a right guard for Clemson. He has the perfect frame for an offensive tackle, and he will help pretty much immediately. So, good pick for the Lions. Pick 18, Caleb Banks, defensive tackle out of Florida. Not going to have enough time to talk about anything else, but I'm going to give that pick a C. I'm going to give that pick a C. C+, actually. But I want to give a few seconds to this thought. The Steelers were on the phone with Makai Lemon for pick 21, and the Dallas Cowboys thought it would be a great idea to trade the pick they have to the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Eagles come up and steal Lemon from the Steelers, and eventually will be a very, very annoying player to play against if you're Dallas. So Dallas, I blame you for this. I blame the NFL gods for this because, again, when we talk about the Eagles, let me look right in the camera when I say this. Actually, let me zoom in. Of course they do. Of course they steal the Steelers draft pick. Of course they move up and do that. Of course, because they have the ability to do that. Only they have. Now, only they. Right. It's just annoying. But I like the Steelers pivot. Max Eisenanker out of Arizona State. Seemed like a little bit of a panic, but nonetheless, not too shabby. Is going to slide right in there. The Steelers have had a lot of offensive issues. Broderick Jones primarily. So you go out and get Eisenanker, and then also Jeremy Bernard in the second round, pick 47. You kind of fill that need. And think about it. With DK Metcalf and Michael Pittman there now, would Makai Lemon really enjoy being not really, I'm not going to say used, but not get the production that he's kind of used to or is expected to have as a first round receiver? Because even with Aaron Rodgers there earlier, like last season, you don't have Pittman, but even guys like Roman Wilson was getting wide receiver 3 reps. He barely caught passes all year. So the Steelers, they go out and they get an offensive tackle, and then they address wide receiver later in the draft. And yeah, that is all the time I have today. So thank you for listening to Beyond the Score. We'll be back next Wednesday, 1 to 2 p.m., same time. Stay tuned for more of the biggest hits and best variety on the Princeton Review's 18th ranked best college radio station, 3-time 2026 IBS Media Award winner, and 5-time NAB Marconi Radio Award nominated station. Actually, College Radio Station of the Year, 107.7 The Bronx.
From Rider University, 107.7 The Bronx.